Are your guys' yields bottoming out, at least on the 10-year? Let's find out. Right now, we're going to go over the bond market first, and then we'll get to yields. This is your TLT. This is on the daily time frame. You guys are currently still out of that pattern, currently aiming for that price target that was set after you broke up out of the pattern. Very good news for TLT is you are above the giant moving average, so your TLT will most likely become bullish. It just needs to come down and retest it, and if it bounces, you have a very bullish TLT, which means it should run beautifully up. Here's your TLT. Here's your 2-year yield. This is what the Fed follows. You guys broke down out of a pattern, coming up for a retest. If you guys get rejected, most likely you will come down and hit this price target. You guys are also below the giant moving average, so you will most likely go down lower just because that gives you more support to the downside when you're under it. Now your 10-year yield, this is the one that looks like it bottomed out. This is your pattern. It broke down out of, came down, hit the price target, and then hit this giant moving line, which is just a trend line from very far ago. Yes. And right now, you guys are bouncing off of it. You guys could break through it. If you break through it, cool. That means less interest rates for your mortgages. You guys can maybe refinance later on at a lower rate. Currently, you're sitting at 4.085%. And this may be the bottom for it to come back up and maybe retest the giant moving average, but we will see what it does. Here's your S&P 500 taking forever to break out of this pattern. It was like, oh, look, haha, we broke out. But sorry, Gordo, you did not break out. So we're still sitting inside of this pattern. And there was no confirmation on that breakout, so couldn't really call it much of a breakout. And you guys are still waiting. With the bond market moving cleanly now, you can use that as like your money flow indicator. If the bond market moves beautifully and cleanly like it did on that trade, it should make these move a lot cleaner, your indexes. Here's your cues. You guys broke down out of the pattern, got rejected, and now you're trying to come back up, and then you're trying to find out where you're going at this point. It should most likely come down and hit this blue line here. I don't see any form of support before that, besides where it recently bounced off of, which is okay. But if you break through this point of support that it recently created, it's very weak because it hasn't really bounced off of here many times before. It's bounced more of in the middle of this zone. But if you guys break down through that, you guys can meet up with the giant moving average, and you guys can see your moving average still moving up like a freight train, so you guys still have a whole lot of momentum to the upside. It's just, when is this bottom going to be put in? It will be confirmed when it makes a pattern. Here's your Dow Jones. Recently, it broke up out of a pattern, came down, sat on a line, and then created this, a rising wedge pattern again. This one, highly bearish, most likely breaks to the downside, but you guys are way above that giant moving average, and you guys haven't broken either way yet, so I'm not expecting it to move much right now because it's still in the pattern. So there's no direction really where it's going to go, because it can break up out or it can break down out of it. We just have to wait. Here's your Bitcoin. It is almost there at making a pattern, very close. It just needs to make another bottom here, and then I can call this a little flag, and then you guys have your pattern, and then if it breaks, then we will see which direction it will most likely go to. Here is your XRP. It bounced inside of this channel. Looks like it's trying to turn around and come back up. It may do that and go to the top of this pattern here, and then get rejected and then come back down. It would look something like this, where it comes back up, comes down, and then retest the bottom and go up and then down. It can do that all day long if it wants to. But currently, it's looking a little weak. Looks like your XRP is most likely making a pattern here. And if it does, you will see a better direction of where we are headed, whether it's up or down. Currently, we're just waiting for more data to be put in. Here's your gold. It's currently putting in that right shoulder of the head and shoulders pattern that I drew. And if it breaks down below this neckline here and past this trend line, you guys will most likely come down lower and meet the giant moving average, and then most likely bounce off of that. Here's your silver. You guys are really, really close to breaking out of this head and shoulders pattern, which is bearish in this case. And you guys will most likely come down and hit this trend line. And if you guys find support, good. If you guys break it, then you guys will most likely go to the giant moving average. It is all up to what silver decides to break through or find support on. And overall, please make sure to like and subscribe if you like this content. But your bond market's moving cleanly now, and it has been confirmed. Your indexes should move even cleaner now, because now you guys know, because of the bond market, it is flowing nicely with money moving around. So you guys are getting your money moving around. It's going to be great. Your VIX, which I don't really talk about much, it's a volatility chart, should start increasing soon because there's more money flow going into the markets. Your 10-year yield looks like it may bottom out and possibly give us a little reversal, but we will see what it does. And overall, your assets, such as your gold and silver, they are currently looking like they're going to go into a bearish direction, most likely. And that's about it for this analysis this week. And I will see you guys Friday. And if you have anything you guys want me to analyze, make sure to comment it down below.